Hey everyone, it is Dave. That's my cat Bo over there, and we're going to do an unboxing today. This is also the 1 month anniversary of my channel, so thank you everyone who has subscribed. I've got 44 subscribers already and over 700 views on my 12 videos that I have uploaded already, so thank you for that. Let's do the unboxing. So this is an order I placed on a Facebook group called let me get this correct here, hold on. It is called the Arkham Book Exchange, and it is run by the author Peter Rawlik. And so he's a great guy. He has a tremendous amount of material that goes through there, and it's all kind of weird fiction. However, he just got a collection of art about Greek history. So those are kind of the books I picked up. So let me grab the box real quick. We'll open it and I will show you what I got. All right, so here's the box here. We'll go ahead and take a look because it is super heavy. And one of the things that I like to collect is history books. I teach art history, and so I'm always fascinated with history. And I also like the art aspect because it's kind of like storytelling through pictures. So let's get all the packing material set aside, and we'll take a look at, I've got a couple books here, and more books here. So I got quite a few. Those are warm, and it's weird because it's nighttime, so I don't know why they're warm. Especially since they've been sitting in my home since yesterday. Holy moly. All right. So let me rip into this. The first one we'll take a look at is Mycenae, rich in gold. So Mycenae is basically mainland Greece, but it's before the Greeks. Right around 1500 to 1200 BC is the time of this civilization. Around 1200 BC, they go into kind of some dark ages, probably because of the Trojan War, and then they emerge around 800 BC as the Greeks. So a lot of gold artifacts during this time period. This is, remember, like the citadel at Mycenae. In fact, there's a picture of it right there. Grave Circle A right over there. And this is also the home to the very famous Lion's Gate that you might see in history class. Okay, so I don't even know where to put these. Let me move this out of the way. So that's a really cool book there. The next one, The Fall of Constantinople, 1453. A few images, mostly reading, and it is interesting. It's got a little inscription at the very top, and it looks like I can't pronounce the words. So it might even be Greek. I don't even think it's Greek. But it is dated February 2nd, 1970. He signs it his book. And it's signed by the artist. Or the author. Told you I teach art. The next one. The Ancient Engineers. L. Sprague de Camp, who was one of the biographers, early biographers of H.P. Lovecraft. In fact, he wrote, I think, the book Lovecraft. So, one of my favorite interests, paperback. More musty than anything. Not good as far as those wonderful smells of decaying paper. The next thing we have, Alexander the Great, Murder in Babylon. Alexander the Great was a charismatic military genius who, in the 4th century BC, led a small Macedonian army to conquer an empire that stretched from the Balkans to the Himalayas and from Egypt to the Caspian Sea. He inspired extreme loyalty amongst his men, intense passion in his women. He was fascinated by foreign culture and intrigued by the mysteries of religion. Yet in the course of his remarkable career, Alexander betrayed his men, discarded his women, leveled cities, and persecuted religious sects. To say he made enemies is an understatement. It was inevitable that sooner or later, someone would make an attempt on his life. So, looks like a really cool book. Got some images in here as well. So, looking forward to reading that. Alexander's Tomb. The 2,000-year obsession to find the lost conqueror. I don't think it's ever been found, if I remember correctly. So it's kind of a cool mystery of history, as they call it. Alexander the Great is a towering figure in world history. His military genius and flamboyant personality has never been surpassed. But despite our long-held fascination with him, we have no idea where he is buried. All right, we got one more stack of books here. And it's not really too much of a stack of books, it's just 2 books. All right. Alexander the Great, you can kind of see a theme here. This is a really great one by Phillips Freeman. I won't go through the cover flap because there's a lot of reading on this one. I don't want to bore you too badly. Let's take a quick look here. Just some titles of major locations: Macedonia, Greece, Asia, Issus, Egypt, Mesopotamia, Persepolis, Bactria, India, Babylon, and then chapter 11, to the ends of the earth. So, again, Alexander the Great. And the last book is also pretty decent sized, the Peloponnesian War. So, of course, these are the wars, I think there's 2 of them, between Sparta and Athens. And this is by Donald Kagan. And it came out, this is a 4th printing, came out in 2003. So I'll enjoy that as well. So some really great history books. How many did I get all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 history books. 1 on ancient engineers. So I don't know how you would classify that. Questionable fiction? I don't know. Anyway, I think that is all for tonight. So just a quick video to say hi to everybody. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for leaving comments and thumbs up and everything like that. I enjoy it. Bo over here enjoys it as well. What will I be talking about next? I don't know. I may do another video from the stacks because I'm looking at stacks across the way here. I've not done a gardening book video, and I've got so many gardening books to go through. I can always do another Sherlock Holmes series. Also over here, I have this lovely series by Alberto Manguel. And it's not a series, it's just a collection of books that he wrote. But he is a writer about books, if that makes any sense. So books on books. And this is the first one I read from him, called The Library at Night. And it's just really such a powerful book about the importance of books throughout history. Let's see if I get some chapter titles here for you. And even take a look at that. What great art. So some of the titles here, the library as myth, the library as order, as space, as power, as shadow, as shape, as chance, as workshop, as mind, as island, as survival, as oblivion, as imagination, as identity, as home. Some really great chapters here. I've read this book a couple of times. It is not often that I reread books, and I may do a video in probably another few months on books I've reread, because they really, I have so many books, life is short, and I'm only going to reread books that are really important. So I'm going to go ahead and read you the front book flap of this, because it is really, really good. It talks about, the title of this book is The Library at Night, a beautifully rendered meditation on the meaning of libraries throughout history, from Alexandria through the virtual library of Google. A humanist's journey. The Library at Night asks why we insist on collecting books and putting them on shelves, alphabetizing them, or defiantly using other systems of organizations, all of them arbitrary. The book starts with the personal, Manguel's own library, which he created in a 15th century barn near the Loire Valley, an idyllic room where knowledge and memory are deeply entwined. Manguel's favorite time to be there is at night, when the world can be comfortably reimagined, though he is quick to tell us that Montaigne refused to dwell in his library at night. In the course of this volume, Manguel looks at libraries from 15 distinct perspectives. There are chapters, which I've just read. Manguel conjures the Tower of Babel, which he considers a library of tongues, and the archetypal library of volumes in Alexandria, about which so much is unknown. The Library as Shape discusses the library from an architectural perspective, taking such examples as the Berlin Library, and designed by Norman Foster, that is shaped like a skull and known as the brain. The monumental French library, inspired by the ruins of ancient Rome. The Library of Survival, Manguel tells us the haunting tale of the Sholem Aleichem Library in Poland, where books were saved from the Nazis even though their readers perished. Additionally, Manguel writes of memory libraries, censored libraries, and libraries of books never written, such as Lovecraft's Necronomicon. So I think that's just a wonderful way to wrap things up tonight. Again, The Library at Night, a book I've read a couple of times. Definitely, if you are a book lover, you must get it. There is a sequel to this book, and I talked about it, I think, in the very first video. I have it holding up in that one as well. This is called Packing My Library, when he moves back to, I think it's Canada. So he leaves the Loire Valley in France, and just his barn that he created a library out of. What a really cool place that is. Centuries and centuries of age in that building. And he talks about literally the orchids, or not orchids, orchards, outside the barn and everything. And so this is really cool. He's asked if he has read all of his books. And I think that's such a silly question to ask a book collector, because the answer is always no. His answer is also no, but he says, I know them though. I know them like as friends. And I always thought that was such a great answer. All right, that's enough for tonight. I will be back shortly with another video.